What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Out of Darts Perses Hopper Extension. Transforms the Perses from holding 50 rounds into about 170 rounds. Pretty excellent. This is not a standard review because this is an aftermarket mod component, but let's get into the external overview. So this is the product as it was shipped to me. Yours might be shipped in two different components, but installing them is pretty simple. The Hopper Extension unit is 3D printed with PLA and has a pretty smooth finish, especially for 3D printing. The 3D printing industry has come a long way since I started using these 3D printed Nerf components. This is very smooth and very high quality. But the unit itself is pretty simple because it's just an extension, so it really is just open space with some really cool speed holes drilled all over. I mean, it is a pretty fancy design, but there's really nothing to manipulate except in the back. This is the hopper door, which opens similar to a paintball hopper if you've used a paintball gun, but it has a magnetic closure. So when it gets close, it kind of snaps shut, and this is definitely not going to open on its own. And I say it's like a paintball hopper because these dimensions are actually just like a paintball hopper, so if you have paintball tubes, you can reload your Nerf gun much faster than loading in by hand. Similar to how a paintball guy would grab one of those pods of paintballs and dump it in super fast. But that's really all I need to go over with the externals. It is snazzy looking, but pretty simple. I need to leave this blaster unmodified, but to show you generally how you install this unit, you start by removing the Perses hopper, like that, very simple. Then you get this clear hopper door and you snap it undone. Out of Darts has a video explaining how to do this. I need to leave this blaster unmodified as a control unit, so I can't actually install this right now. But you remove the door, which is super simple, then you snap in the new hopper, which is also super simple. And after you do that, it turns into this, which is just an extended hopper. On the Out of Darts website, it says you can use some super glue to attach the 3D printed unit to the original hopper. I don't think that's necessary. I've stress tested this as I normally do with these products and haven't had any issues with it. If it starts to unsnap or something, I'll definitely add glue in the future, but until you need glue, I'd say don't do it. It's great as it is, and this is a removable hopper, so I can go back to the clear door if I wanted to. After installing it, I realized I'm never going to do that because this is way better in every way, but it's still possible, so you don't have to permanently modify the blaster if you don't want to. But this is the completed unit, and you reinstall it just like you reinstall the normal hopper. So not only does it extend the hopper, but it also makes the hopper like way easier to reload. I complained about the Perses hopper in my review of the Perses because it's just a really long slot that's really difficult to get balls in there. Oh gosh. But it's just not an ideal target. It's long and it's easy to dump balls out by accident, so this hopper is not very fast to reload. So loading is a little annoying, and the Perses only holds 50 rounds with the stock hopper. I was able to get in 53 rounds before it started jamming up because if you put too many balls in and it's compressed, then it's not going to feed right. So the stock hopper holds about 50 rounds. Enter the extended hopper. I counted every single round that I was able to fit in, and 150 fits in without any issues at all. There's quite a bit of slack in the hopper, so it moves around freely and feeding is not hindered at all. And if you're a little more careful and deliberate with your loading, I was able to comfortably load 170 rounds with no feeding issues whatsoever. But it does take an extra minute to kind of shake them and compress them a little bit. And the speed that you can reload is way better than the Perses. This is 50 rounds in one of these little paintball pods. So you can open up the magnetic enclosure and just dump in 50 rounds. That's way faster than the Perses and way less mess. And it holds 150 rounds comfortably, 170 if you want to shake them around a little. And that is an external overview of the Out of Darts Perses hopper extension. Here's a full hopper of the Perses firing. Already loaded up with rival rounds, shooting at my dart net to make cleanup of this many rival rounds a little faster. So let's go. About 50% went in the net, whatever. To be clear, the hopper extension doesn't actually affect like the firing performance of this blaster. The firing demo is just to prove that it feeds just fine. You still have to shake the Perses unit around to get the balls to feed into the hopper correctly, but that's the Perses issue, not the hopper extension issue at all. But I tested the unit extensively and I didn't have any change whatsoever in the feeding consistency, the rate of fire, or the feeding reliability. So it works great, exactly as you'd expect. One note about ergonomics, it does change how you hold the blaster a little bit. When I shoot the normal Perses, I kind of want to put my face against the blaster, but with the hopper extension, it just changes that a little bit, so now I can't see the sight and it's a little bit different to aim. Totally worth it though. You have 3 times the freaking capacity, so I'm not trying to complain, I'm just pointing it out. It is a little different. So that's the objective information I can provide on the Out of Darts Perses hopper extension. Now to my personal opinion. My opinion of the Out of Darts hopper extension is absolutely positive. 5 stars. Definitely buy one if you have a Perses. Super serious. It transforms the Perses completely. In my Perses review, I complained about this hopper. I think it's just too small in capacity given the Perses' insane rate of fire. It shoots very quick, but you blow your whole load in under under 10 seconds, which is just kind of lame, and it really kind of diminishes the play experience when you're always reloading. And the stock hopper is not easy to reload because it's just difficult. It's not really a funnel, it's a huge tray that can spill out when you're reloading. I complained about that in my review, and that's really the biggest factor to me not really liking the Perses. It's just impractical. When you put on a hopper extension, I'd pick this over the Prometheus. This is now my new favorite rival blaster. Well, battle effective. I still love the Chronos. It'll always have a place in my heart, but I love this blaster with the hopper extension. Repeating the numbers, the stock hopper holds 50 rounds. With the hopper extension, 150 easily, 170 if you want to push them. 3 times the capacity, way easier to reload. You're able to use paintball pods, which I'd strongly recommend if you use a hopper extension like this. The paintball pods only cost a couple bucks, and paintball people have been using these for ages, obviously, and you can actually buy a paintball rig to hold these. It's not quite as tactical as using magazines, it's more like paintball, but it's super practical and you reload super fast. It takes 3 of these pods to load this because each pod only holds 50 rounds. But you might be able to buy different. I'm not a paintball guy, I'm just gonna stop talking about that. I was sent 2 units. This one's orange, this one is Galaxy Black, and the Galaxy Black looks super cool because there's a little bit of like glitter sparkle in there, so it looks way cooler than flat black. I think the black looks pretty cool on the red Perses, but if you're team blue like me, the black on the blue, this looks a little dark. I wouldn't feel comfortable using this outside in a public park. The red is so bright that obviously doesn't look like a gun. Blue's a little darker. From a distance, it can get a little washy, so maybe buy an orange one or a bright color if you rock the blue team. And there are different colors available because he just uses a different filament in his 3D printer. So it's not paint, it's like made with that color of filament. So the Out of Darts Perses hopper extension. If you use a Perses and want to take your game up a notch, definitely check it out. I'll put a buy link in the description box below to the outofdarts.com website. This really is my new favorite rival blaster because it's so much more compact than a Prometheus. I don't know that I'll be whipping out the Prometheus anymore until I get a Prometheus hopper extension to make that even bigger, which will be cool. Irregular review because this is an aftermarket component, and obviously no chrono because it's just an accessory. It doesn't change the performance or the feeding reliability. It doesn't change anything except for the better. It just gives you more rounds to fire. So definitely recommend checking it out if you run a Perses and want to hold more ammo, which who doesn't want more ammo? That's this video review. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical.